Just shut up.
It ain't got nothing to do with you, bro.
All right, we're live. We're back again. Sorry, guys. The YouTube studio crashed and killed our stream. We're having a great conversation. I don't know what you guys heard last, but we were talking about the price of the Xbox One Series, or God damn it, the Xbox Series X. B Money, we're talking about how, the price could be $600, $500. I think Dark Goldblum said, but it comes with games. And B Money had a counter. B Money, could you actually repeat what you said regarding the fact that, because I do see that people say, well, yeah, it could cost $600 or $500, but you get all these games with Game Pass. You kind of had I don't know if it was a rebuttal, but more of a kind of a butt to that.
Good conversation.
All right, I guess B Money's not there.
No, I think for me personally, like from what you guys are saying, like with games being on the Series X, or it's not going to be like, not every game's going to be like Cyberpunk, where they're going to only make you buy one copy of the game. There's going to be a lot of companies out there that are going to be like, oh, we're going to milk this. We're going to make you buy 2 copies. We're going to make you buy 3 copies. Like that's just how, companies work a lot of times. And people are going to, maybe not everybody, but there are going to be people out there that are going to fall for that. So, it's just I don't want to have to spend a lot of money on the console when I really only want the games,
So do we think there's going to actually be case art out there that says Xbox Series X on it?
It might not.
No,
that's the only way.
That's not going to happen.
That's the only way I can see people getting charged extra for a different game.
But that's the thing. When the PS5 comes out, will games be saying PS5 and then games will say PS4 on it? Like, it's kind of like weird.
I think games that are PS5 only will, like Godfall, that are only PS5. But I think, this is what I think. This smart delivery is something that's already. I congratulate Microsoft on giving it a fancy name, but it's something that's already being done right now. Whenever you put a game, like if you put Red Dead Redemption in your regular your Xbox One or your Xbox One S, it downloads the proper version of that game for your system now. If you download it if you put it into an Xbox One X, it gives you the higher res version, which is why the download is already bigger. So all they're doing is getting ahead of people saying, hey, you're not going to have to buy games. We're going to give this a fancy name that we never gave it before to add it as a feature that the system is going to have, which is smart because this is going to be something a lot of people are going to be asking questions. Do I have to buy games I already own? And we know people are not the smartest, and they're not going to assume that, because any game that I buy that I know going forward will automatically be able to be played on that system. And that's why they said developers have that option. So when games are being made right now, all those games have a chance to have an enhancement for the new system when it comes out. Now,
but there's going to be developers out there that are not going to take advantage of that. They're going to be like,
they just won't do anything. I don't think that it will be a game. I don't think they're going to do anything. It's just like games. It's going to be like Mass Effect, like how Andromeda didn't get an Xbox One X enhancement for almost a year later.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I think is going to happen mostly.
Yeah, I kind of makes sense, Forte. Like, why are we gonna let's maybe hold back, double dip, release the optimized game or the improved version of whatever said game is a year later, so we could sell it at $60.
Yeah, and well, you got to think too. You got to think of like this, Matt. This is the one thing that could go against Microsoft if they did something like that, or if publishers did anything like that. Microsoft already came out and said that their first party is not going to be taking full advantage of the next generation, just because they're going to support Xbox, all Xbox systems for at least the first year and a half to 2 years. So we already know how they're going to go about it. So the fact that they're leaving this in developers' hands, I think if they make a game, they can make a game that's Series X only. I think they can do that, but I don't think it's going to be a game that, if they want to get a bigger piece of that pie, they have the option to make it, so that game has an updated version of it or not have one. But that's going to be developer thing. I don't think they're going to be able to sell another version of the game when the game's already available to play.
Yeah, okay. I got a real quick question for you guys because IDZ81 in the live chat brings up that CD Projekt Red announcing it will have a lot of pressure on other publishers. Ubisoft already said they'd be doing this. Do you think
they clapped on that?
I disagree. I don't think it's going to be a lot of pressure on publishers.
No.
CD Projekt Red his stance on a lot of things is very different than other publishers. Like they don't do microtransactions or loot boxes the way other publishers do.
No
and
shoot, they gave you free DLC last time they did The Witcher 3. They gave you how many free DLCs? And then you paid like what, $30 for the season pass, and you got like
a ton of content,
80 hours worth of extra content. So yeah, they do things a lot different than any other company.
And you're never going to see Bethesda following that route.
Heck no.
I was thinking you can't make Rockstar move.
True.
Rockstar's dropping another GTA. You think, they out and they want to double dip. They're bigger than most. If they don't want to move on that, what are you going to do?
Exactly. You're just gonna buy 2 games.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna do this thing where you can get one for the X, one X, and for this one.
Well, I think I only think the reason people bring this up is because of what happened going from 360 to Xbox One. I mean, you're talking about going from 2 different, they're not even in the same family when it comes to that. Right. So it was easy to see Rockstar double dipping, even triple dipping when it came to going to PC too. So I can see that happening. When it comes to this system, it's not the thing is, it's not a big generational leap. The generational leap that you're going to see in these next consoles is frame rate and how much you can see on the screen. That's the one thing that people got to kind of realize. You're not going to see this drop out of this drop dead gorgeous game that you couldn't see on any other system. You're not going to see anything like that because the graphics have already kind of hit a fever pitch where it's kind of diminishing returns. Now, some developers can go out of the way and actually enhance that a little bit, but you're not going to get blown away by what you see graphically. What's going to blow you away is the experience that you see playing the game at 60 frames per second or higher and having a lot of stuff on the screen. I always harken back to my one experience that the one I always remember is the original Halo Combat Evolved, when you were in the Pelican and you dropped onto the beach for the first time. No game ever did that before when it came to the amount of stuff that was on the screen and what you were experiencing at that one moment. That's what you're going to experience in the next generation with these new systems, and that's going to be what people need to expect. Don't expect to be blown away from what you see graphically. Be blown away from the way the game feels and the things that they added, like more enemies and better AI. Your game is just going to feel and live better versus what it is right now.
Yeah. Except for when you use smart delivery and you go from an Xbox Series X
a regular Xbox?
Back to a regular Xbox One.
Huge difference.
And then the Keenan GIF comes up. You sure?
That's crazy. You said you sure?
You'll see a huge difference if you're coming from like the original PS4 or the original Xbox going up. If you're lucky enough, I don't know how you was able to wait this long on those systems, but if you were, maybe not so much the PS4, but if you were an Xbox gamer and you've been rocking that OG Xbox since 2013, bless you. I don't know how you did it, but you gonna get the best experience ever if you upgrade to the next system.
Yeah.
I think you're even gonna get a good enough upgrade when you go to the next system anyways, even if you have the Pro or the X right now. But you're just gonna see more textures, more frame rate, better resolution, things like that. You're not really gonna see a graphic fidelity.
Right.
And I think people are thinking, oh, we're gonna see these amazing looking graphics, and that's not the case. That's not
right.
what you see.
Yeah,
I think what they will see is like the higher frames. They're gonna start understanding why a lot of like guys on PC really say like damn the resolution.
Look,
I want frames.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like me, Slow-Mo, and Enrique and y'all can attest to this. when you play Destiny on PC, Destiny's a really good looking game on console. Like it's really good looking on console. But why does it seem like a different game when you play it on PC? Slow mo Enrique. What?
Frame rate.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. It literally feels like a different experience playing it on that platform just because of those frames. And God bless Bungie if the day that the systems come out, they do not have some update for this game to run at a PC level fidelity on console, because if they don't, I'm gonna be highly disappointed in Bungie on day one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we're gonna see more remasters of games this next generation. I think we're going to see what we saw last generation of this past generation.
What do you
we're going to see
like
more
Xbox One games, or
about like Xbox One games. Xbox One games. I'm talking about like Xbox One games being remastered for the next console. Well, maybe not remastered, but like upgraded, like
for free.
Like probably for free, or
it better be for free. If
you
it's
might have to pay a little bit or whatever. You know, you might have to pay a little bit. You know, they got to make their money, man. You know,
I don't know Xbox games. If you talk about Xbox 360 or Xbox original Xbox games, charge away.
Like PS4, you know, PS4 games like you know, like God of War, they might do that. You know, 60 frames or whatever.
They can't do that.
Yeah, I'll say this too.
They might just come out with they might not do an update. They might just come out with a remaster of it. Look, you know, man, giving you that 60 frames per second.
Look, I can see that happening, but the problem for me would be every time a game gets updated, like Skyrim. When Skyrim got its 4K update for consoles and it got the remastered version of it on console, if you owned it on PC already, guess what? You just got a free download of the game. You didn't have to go out and buy anything. You
gotta remember, PC's not.
But PC and consoles are about to be. They're being mirrored the same way now, and you can't have, especially if you're in an ecosystem where you want people to come to your system from another platform. Maybe not the Xbox side, because Xbox doesn't care, but especially the PlayStation side. If your games are going over there, what are you going to do to entice the people from coming over? I just feel like we're at a point where consoles are not as weak as they used to be. You're at a point now where once we cross the threshold of 60 frames per second and having higher computing power, you're pretty much a PC, but just at a cheaper price. I don't want to see the practices like having to pay for stuff that I already own on a digital marketplace. I can see if it's a game that you own physically. Maybe you put the game in, they say, you know, we're going to give you a digital copy of the game, and this is how much it costs, like $5 to upgrade, and you get a digital copy that way if it sees that you own the game. But if you already own a digital copy of a game, you should not have to pay money, especially if it's an Xbox One or PS4 game, to get better textures and graphics in the game. That just can't happen.
Yeah, but you know, they might just do
happen.
it just. Yeah, right. Exactly.
It might happen, but it shouldn't happen.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if people
don't, it will happen. It will happen with the typical publishers that roll like that, like Bethesda.
But here's the thing, Slomo. They do it because people buy it. So I mean, it's up to us as consumers to say no. We're not going to buy it. They do this because they make money off it, because people will go out and rebuy these games. Same thing with like microtransactions. People do microtransactions. They give it the PC
for free because they know they're going to pirate the game anyway if they don't give it to them for free. So
yep, that's a great point, Forte. Is B Money back? Is he?
He in the bushes. Go. we should all go. You know what? Shout out to Iron Lords podcast. Shout out to Iron Lords. You guys have a great time out there in PAX. Everybody, let's pull some money together and get B Money a throw it in the bushes sweatshirt, because
I think
he deserves to have one.
I don't know what happened to him. Like, as soon as that last stream dropped, it's like he dropped and never came back.
In the bushes, man. Gone.
I do think, though, I do disagree with one point, though. I think we'll see some visual improvement, like better graphics this generation. But, you know, I don't think it's going to be...
we will see some. It just won't be like this.
I don't think it's going to be like lifelike. I think ray tracing is going to bring a lot of, and even with ray tracing, like.
But I was saying, when you play your games on PC, like you play Call of Duty has really good ray tracing on PC. But if you were to turn ray tracing off and look at that game on PC, then look at it on console, the difference in the game is just how sharp it is. and how much better the textures are.
I mean,
the game as a whole doesn't
I
look
will say
that
this.
much better than
I'll
the
say this
console
though:
version.
the Call of Duty cutscenes were some of the most realistic looking
Oh,
cutscenes I've ever seen.
I
and I'm
agree.
playing it on PC. And I remember just look, and so I think we'll see that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be like like to the point where it's like almost lifelike. I don't think we're.
You're not going to be seeing Blizzard type cutscenes as games.
It's not going to be like Avatar the movie or anything like that.
It should be though, but it's not.
No. I do want to get to the last topic of the evening, guys.
Last topic. We just started.
I know we started the second time, but
no. We can go to 11 o'clock. Go.
Well, yeah, no. This will probably take us to 11 o'clock.
I was just playing. People might have stuff to do.
I'm really. Has anyone seen B Money? That's what I want to know. Like, I think he's missing.
Where's Waldo?
Where's B Money? B,
if you was kidnapped by the sock accounts.
Yeah, it's your fault, Slow-Mo.
Yeah, you can blame that on me too, man. I'm sorry, B, man. We gonna get you, man. We gonna get
they
save you, bro.
They busted down his doors. Like, where is Slow-Mo? Where have you seen him at? Where is Slow-Mo? It's my Russian accent again.
Lord have mercy. You guys are freaking incredible.
That's why you love us, Slow-Mo. Somebody in the live chat said that.
I'm not a cool.
I'm sorry, Forte. Someone in the live chat did say, "Boy, that stream dropped faster than Forte's mic."
Ooh.
Shots fired. All right,
Can you hear me now?
So, guys, was that B?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Oh, B Money.
Here, man.
You out of prison, bro? You out of jail? What's up?
He sound like he was fighting for his life.
No, I had to re-download the drivers to my fucking mic, man.
Man, you.
Oh man.
Oh, that sucks,
They straight hit you up hard.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that's what broke our stream.
Hey B, they were acting like you were Will in Stranger Things, man. Like,
crazy, man.
Where's Waldo? Missing.
Will in Stranger Things. Yeah, B, we thought you.
Man.
We thought you were Will, man. We were like, "Where's B at?" The stream went down. We had to redo.
B's in the upside down.
thought they came in the back and put the cuffs on you, man.
Hey, man, you never know.
Oh, real quick, guys. Before we get to the last topic, do you guys see Platinum Games announcement?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
I mean, just from what they show, I think pretty cool concept. We'll see what it actually is going to be. But I thought that was pretty cool. Thought the announcement was pretty cool.
I might be a little different here. I'm going to say I think Platinum is going to be looking for funding again in another 2 or 3 years.
No, Tencent got their back, man.
Look. I'm not saying Platinum makes bad games. I don't think that. Like I really enjoy. I really enjoy Astral Chain. I think Nier Automata is a cool game. I just think their games don't sell very well. They don't really translate very well. For some reason they just don't sell enough, and they're always embroiled in some kind of thing going on. Like they were working with Psy Games on Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I think. Yeah, Relink. And then out of nowhere, Psy Games comes out and says, "Yeah, Platinum's not working on this anymore. We're going forward just ourselves." It's just like, why is it always like some kind of thing going on behind the scenes with them? I don't know. But
because Platinum does this where they do it their way. It's their way or the highway, basically. Like where and that's just kind of like how the Japanese culture is in a way. Is like it's our way or the highway. Like we want to do it our way. We don't want to, have any influence. So, they want to, it's like with Microsoft. When they had Scalebound, they just same thing, like they were like, well, we wanted to do it this way, and Microsoft was like, well, we need you to do it this way because we're forking over the money for it, and they, that's just Platinum Games, man. And contest with what you're saying about they don't sell well is because they don't market their games very well. If you notice, like when Astral Chain came out, yeah, they don't. When Astral Chain came out, they
Nintendo
didn't
wasn't
even
doing it.
market
They didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't marketing it, and
It's a good game. It's a really good game.
it is. It's a great game. Like and even like right now, I'm playing Vanquish. That's a great game. That game didn't sell well because they didn't market it. It's the same thing. Like Bayonetta. Bayonetta is probably their top tier game in their library. They didn't market that game. The only reason why that game did so
Nintendo
well, right, is because Nintendo marketed it and the word of mouth from people saying, "Hey, you need to play this game. It's fun." And Sega when they were under Sega at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but they don't have any ownership into any of their titles. So a lot of those games, you know, like the Vanquish and Bayonetta, and even with Astral Chain, like they don't own those games. So
They don't own
when
Nier either, do they?
no,
No.
so when they go to their publisher and their publisher isn't, you know what I mean, marketing the game, then I mean, you gotta give some onus to those publishers that they don't market those games either.
But you got to remember,
right.
they're also
This
getting
is
paid up. They're getting paid up front to make these games. So, like, if a developer's approaching Platinum with an idea, Platinum's already getting the money. You know, regardless of how that game sells, they're getting paid.
Exactly.
They're getting paid up
Yeah.
front anyway.
But what does that have to do with the publisher promoting?
No,
the
I'm
game?
just saying, like
At the end of the day, the publisher wants to return on their investment.
yeah, no, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, for Platinum, it's like, you know, like they got paid, but you know, I agree with the publisher piece. Like, they got to make that money. They got to get that money back. You know, but
You know, but this is it kind of reminds me of something that you know we had said, like me and E had said about like just Platinum overall, kind of how like they're like the Telltale, the action game genre. Like Telltale didn't really make bad games, just that, you know, people liked them, but they just didn't like them enough to really buy them. And they also didn't own a lot of IP. And when it was all said and done, they couldn't keep the lights on, unfortunately. And even though they had some really interesting and exciting things
But
cooking,
they're coming back, baby. They're coming back.
with the zombie Telltale company.
Yeah.
I don't even know, but like they're doing they're doing the Wolf Among Us too. I love the Wolf Among Us.
I do
But I'm
too.
like,
I'm playing
man,
that right now. I'm playing it
you
right now.
guys doing it?
It's so good.
Yeah,
They
but
do.
I mean, but like these guys doing it, I'm like, I mean, you have your Telltale in name. You have like a Telltale mask on, and I don't know who's really underneath. So I mean, I don't want to pass judgment on them. It might be really good, and I know they were trying to get a lot of the old Telltale devs back, but I mean, I it wouldn't surprise me. I watched the No Clip documentary on them. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of them have just got like PTSD and just like, hell no, I'm never coming back there again. I'm done with that now. But I would like, especially on the narrative side, a lot of the guys that worked on narrative, to get them back to make sure that The Walking Dead 2, I mean, not The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us 2 is really getting the story nailed down correctly. But I don't know. Like, I mean, they get back to Platinum. I kind of that's who they remind me of. They make good games, and when you see their stamp on action, you know that's Platinum. Like you know when you see their action, I'm like,
Yep.
That's a Platinum game, just by how it looks, how the animation, how the action flows. But I just like at the end of the day, it's that Platinum game came out. Moving on, it's just like no one ever like buys them and plays them and says, you know, I don't get it, you know.
No.
Yeah, they do hit on like they get a lot of critical acclaim. Like I said, the B team stuff, like the marketer stuff, doesn't usually hit, but they kind of have like an interesting pattern. Like they'll have an Astral Chain, which everyone, you know, kind of agrees is really good, but then it doesn't seem like a lot of people played it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like their next A-team game will hit like a Wonderful 101 and nobody paid attention type of thing. Even though that was like on the Wii U, but it's sort of like they kind of have like this cadence. But yeah, it definitely seems to come down to like a promotion thing, but they do have a very like dedicated fan base. That's the crazy part.
Right.
You know, so even with that kind of knowledge, look how it got shared today, like by hitting Twitter, like this is going to be their next game. Even before, you know, they just said that we have an announcement coming up. It still got like attention. It's a weird thing. It's like a weird dynamic. And this game's supposed to be like finishing off like the hero saga of Hideki Kamiya, like, which most people probably not even aware that he was doing a hero saga.
Right.
You know, from Beautiful
Yeah, I
Joe
was
to
not
Wonderful
aware
101
until
to this
they
game,
said it
you know?
today. I was
Right.
just like,
Yeah, I wasn't either. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Babylon's Fall, which is the PlayStation exclusive they're supposed to be working on?
it
Have you guys
reminds
seen
me
it?
of Nier. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
it
It
does.
reminds me like a more fleshed out Nier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
but it looks like my type of game, so I'll be there for it.
Yeah,
Right,
me
exactly.
too, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the day one.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what, guys?
What
Speaking
Platinum-
of another game, and I know this isn't related to Platinum, but did you guys see Nemesis jumping down?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like, did that not like get you even more hyped for this game? I saw that, I'm like, holy shit.
Yo,
Like
that's what I'm
he-
saying. Like people who felt like X was too much, like too aggressive and too much, because I know some people were out there with
Some
that.
people were upset.
They're not ready for Nemesis, man.
No,
They're
they're not.
not.
If you thought Mr. X was bad, wait for
Nemesis don't give a damn about you running into a room.
Yeah, exactly. Facts.
He's like, I'm coming in the room too, damn it.
Yep.
That's how he looks at it. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting.
No, definitely. All right, guys, real quick, I do want to get to the last topic of the evening. Before hopefully the stream doesn't crash again.
Final topic. Popeye's
Final
chicken
topic.
sandwich versus Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Oh boy, I'll take Popeyes.
Oh man,
Popeye's
that
chicken
ain't going to
sandwich.
end anytime soon.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I'm sorry, but Chick-fil-A's better.
Oh, wow.
I agree.
I'm with you, man.
I think the Popeyes chicken sandwich is better, but overall Chick-fil-A is the better restaurant. But anyhow,
That customer service, man, you can't beat it.
oh, those
It's like
people.
God's chicken.
It's like going to the Disneyland of fast food.
No.
every time you walk in there, everyone's so friendly. Hi, how are
Oh,
you?
how can I
sir?
help you today? You don't have.
Hey, how are you?
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yes.
pleasure.
My pleasure. I'm like,
Hey,
You don't get that Wendy's attitude or that Popeyes attitude.
exactly.
what you want?
I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you sit in Wendy's fucking drive-through for 45 minutes waiting on
Every place, every
cheeseburger and
city
some
you go to.
fries, man? I don't understand. What the hell are they doing back there?
It don't matter. It doesn't matter if it's empty or not. It's just like, yeah, you're not getting any good service going.
I don't
Never.
understand that either, B. I don't get it.
How come like every Burger King you drive by, there's like one car in the parking lot?
Wow.
That is
man.
true.
That is very true.
It's like, how they open, man? There's never anybody there eating.
My Burger King, my Burger King, it's only packed in the morning when the seniors are there, right? And then like the rest of the day, there's like 2 people, and that's
It's funny. I mean, when I do decide to eat fast food, which is pretty not regular anymore, it's a Burger King and McDonald's right
I
across
thought he was
the
gonna
street
say
from each other.
every day.
No, it's not regular anymore. It used to be every day, but then I was like, no, I'm cut back. But they're right across the street from each other. So sometimes I will, depending on how late I am to work, I base it on like whose line's longer. And Burger King's is always like nobody in line.
You'll win. They'll win every time, man.
Like McDonald's is like eight cars deep because it's first thing in the morning. People trying to get they breakfast sandwich, and then I'm sitting there like I'll be trying. It's like, man, I need to get up there early so I can get my McDonald's. And by the time I get there, I'm like, nah, that line is going to probably take 30 minutes to get through.
Yeah, walk into a Burger King and ask them, what do you do well?
have it your way.
We have it
It's like
your way.
because you go to McDonald's, you like the fries gonna be on point. That's what they say, right?
Nah,
You know,
not my
has
McDonald's.
And that iced coffee caramel was always on. Man.
Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta pay the bills real quick. Wraith the Emperor with a $2 super chat says Resident Evil 3 gonna hurt a lot of gamers. Hello everyone, by the way. Hello, Wraith. Welcome to
What's
BRAP,
up,
man.
Ray? He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Gonna be some mad gamers out there.
Yeah. But guys, we talked about Game Pass quite a bit, I think, on this podcast, on the show. And there was actually a very interesting article here on Business Insider. It's my news thing. And the title of the article was "The Netflix of Gaming is Coming, and Video Game Makers Are Worried That Their Business Could Meet the Same Fate as Music and Movies." And you know what's funny about this topic is that when we had Hogue on of Hogue Law 2 weeks ago, he discussed that, everyone on this panel is going to probably agree that Game Pass is a great service. That's not, I don't even think that's up for debate. I like it. I think everyone on the panel likes it. Most gamers see value in it. Great, right? Mm-hmm. We asked Hogue this question, about the viability of Game Pass, and he said, hey, great value for consumers, but this is new territory. There's going to be some challenges that Microsoft will face as they, start building out this service more. How do they approach developers? Are developers going to be on board, et cetera, et cetera? And this article really kind of tackles that point where, one of the again, this is an anonymous source. They're not listing any companies. They say that executives at major video game studios and publishers told Business Insider that the growth of subscription services was a sign of a new paradigm in the industry, where that may signal long-term trouble for developers, even as fans and platforms thrive. They're saying that these services are great for gamers who have more options to play great games. And in the short term, these services are great for game makers who reap the financial benefits of massive companies like Microsoft, Sony, and Apple splashing out for games, meaning that, the Apple, Sony, Microsoft are paying for these games to be on these subscription-based services. Article goes on to say Microsoft seeks to grow the subscriber base with Xbox Game Pass. It offers lucrative deals to developers and studios. The article says, look no further than film and TV business for examples of just how lucrative those deals can be. And so basically what the concern is here is that, according to some of these publishers and executives in the industry, they're basically saying, hey, that big check that you get now, you might feel good today, but it might not be so good in 5 years. And what they're saying is that, as these platforms develop and they're less reliable on maybe having to, maybe it gets to a point where gamers aren't buying games in the traditional sense, like physical sense or digital, whatever the case is, and they're going to these subscription services. In some ways, these platforms kind of hold all the cards, right? And now that big check maybe is not necessarily a big check, because if you want your game out there, you're going to have to visit this or have to get it on that particular platform. The one studio said, if you destroy the system of purchasing and replace it with a subscription model, then the subscription model is all that's left. It's Netflix and Blockbuster. Instead of renting per video, you're paying for subscription services. These subscription services could mean the end of traditional direct-to-consumer sales of individual games, which they did leave out the part that, at least with Game Pass, you can still buy games that are on Game Pass.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a big miss there, because Phil Spencer actually said that recently. Actually on Gamertag Radio, said, "Hey, I don't like being compared to Netflix because Netflix doesn't let you buy content."
Although he did kind of constantly bring up Netflix, and when they were first speaking about Game Pass, he was constantly bringing up like Netflix, like features of it that were similar to Netflix. So it's my opinion that he really shouldn't be too upset. He can be upset, but needs to be upset at himself for making those correlations so often that people start to pick up on it.
I think when it comes to, and this comes from a person that works in retail, so I think it really comes down, like, I can understand that check getting smaller depending on how your game is being, consumed by people. If they're buying less of the physical or digital copy and it's being bought mostly in that service industry, I can see the pockets getting shorter, or lighter. But it also comes back to how many people are in that service. If there's a tipping point for everything, just like for Xbox, there's a tipping point for how many people are in that service is where they start making money on it. As of right now, we don't know that information. I don't think they're anywhere near making money probably on the service as of right now, because of just how much they give it away for almost free. But at a certain point, 20 million, 30 million. I think we can all say by the time the new systems release Xbox Game Pass is going to be the number one way that people, or at least Microsoft's going to want you to play the games and stuff. So once they hit that tipping point, then it doesn't matter anymore. They'll make money off the service.
If they hit that
If
tipping
they
point.
hit that number. If they hit that number, they'll make money no matter what. But then it just comes down to the developers wanting to put their stuff in there, because it's very attractive when you see a number like 50 million or 30 or 40 million people that's in the subscription service. You might want to put your game in there, especially if you're a really very notable game, like something like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed. Not saying those games would do it, but people are still going to buy the game physically because people like it. But if you want to get more eyes on your game than you probably could in traditional terms, it might be more beneficial to put it in the service. So it's gonna fall on different developers in different ways. Microsoft already told you how they're doing it because they feel like their system doesn't sell enough for them to support the games they want. But if they could put it in more people's hands, like Game Pass into like PC gamers' hands, into people that have xCloud, that's how they're going to make the extra money up. And I think that's how some of the at least some of the smaller developers are going to have to start thinking too, because it's dog eat dog world out there, especially in retail. Retail's not buying as many games as they used to anymore, just because they don't have a lot of people coming in buying them anymore. And services might be the best way for your game to be noticed by the majority of people.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what this article was going at. What the article was really talking about is the developer side, and where, yeah, the small developer might see interest in putting their game in there right now. And they are getting a bag for that, but that sets precedence for their game to always be there.
Well, I mean, so, if you're getting a bag for your game being in there, you can't really complain or be upset if your next game has a chance of only really performing in there because you set that precedent early by putting your first game in there.
Right. So, and that's what they're talking about. That's the problem. So at some point, like I was talking about before, when Hoga's on, and every time we bring this topic up, when you start to put your games in the Game Pass, that sets a precedent that your next game is going to be there, or something from that publisher is going to put something in Game Pass. Right. So when you start doing that, more people, just like you said, the way Microsoft is setting this up is that they want people to be in Game Pass. So that means less likely for people to actually go and buy games and to subscribe to the subscription. Right. So the more people who subscribe to the subscription, less people are buying games over time. So when you put a smaller game in there and they got a decent bag for it the first time, guess what? Everybody's in a subscription now. So I don't have to give you that decent bag. You don't have to be the attractor to Game Pass because all these other games are in there now. So that bag becomes smaller, 4 years down the line when your next game comes in. So you're not getting the same bag that you got the first time around.
It depends on how well your first game did. I mean, can't tell me.
That don't have nothing to do with it, because once the Ubisofts and the EAs and everybody else starts committing and all those other big games are in there, you think you're going to get the same bag for the small game that you put in there the first time?
No, I'm just saying it depends. Like this, then that falls on you to say my game is worth more than what you're asking me to put it in there for.
You can say it all you want to, but you can say it all you want to, but if Rockstar starts putting all their games in there, you think Rockstar?
Oh well, no, you're talking about in comparison to other. You're talking about in comparison to other companies doing it.
No, I'm talking about once Microsoft makes this subscription the biggest thing since anything else in gaming, and every developer is putting their game in there. That small developer who put their game in there today and got a decent bag is not getting that same bag 5 years down the line.
So you don't think Rockstar, if they put Grand Theft Auto 6 in there, won't get the same bag for Grand Theft Auto 7?
Rockstar is going to get the bag. Rockstar is going to get the bag, but that little
get the bag for every time.
Sobo is not going to get the same bag for putting a Plague Tale in there 5 years down the line for putting another game in there.
Well, I don't know.
Once Rockstar and EA and everybody else starts putting their game in there, all the bigger games, once that starts inflating, all those small developers ain't getting that same bag. That's the same way the music industry and the TV and movies,
only reason
that's the same way. That's the same way. That's the reason why they talk about that in the article, and that's why they brought it. If you go look at the music industry right now, Everybody who releases music ain't making no money off their fucking music because it goes to these streaming services like Apple Music, like fucking Tidal, like Spotify. They ain't making no money off of that. They put their music on there and people stream it millions and millions of times, and they ain't making no bread off it.
Yeah, the musicians make
It's
money
the
off
same,
touring.
it's the same way in the movie industry. That's why all the big actors are complaining about not getting any money off the box office anymore because nobody's going to see fucking movies because they go to Netflix and they turn it on and they can watch whatever they want for $9.99 a month.
And that's why they all go into Netflix. Yeah, you got Will Smith in a Netflix movie.
Yeah, you got what,
Adam Sandler in Netflix
Wahlberg in a new Netflix movie next week.
Right.
So I mean, you're gonna have that. Like it's just gonna it's gonna be like the film industry and the music industry, but people are still gonna want that entertainment. So yeah, they're gonna fork over the money to give those companies, especially those big companies.
Yeah, the big companies. But
but I just don't see a smaller company. Like if you get the bag the first time, do you really think you're going to get the same bag every time? Unless you're
you're not. So if they're not getting the same bag, how do they survive if they're not getting the same bag?
Then
what is the incentive to keep?
Then the incentive is why would you put your why would you game in there in the first place if you're going in with that pre assumption that I put my first game in there and if it does well, everybody expects my second one to go in there, but I'm not going to get the same payment that I got to put the first one in there. If I listen, I think honestly what's going to really happen is with this smaller developers, it's just like curation. The smaller your game is, the harder it's going to be for you to get your game found. The more and more the bigger publishers get involved in this because that's all people are going to be looking for is the bigger games. Right now, it's like kind of the golden age for Game Pass because there's such a good mixture of big games in there, plus a lot of it's more indie games in there than anything, and that will always be the case. But right now, the indie games are at such a level that they can stand out from a lot of the AAA games. That will definitely become less and less the more Ubisoft and Take-Two and Activision throw their games in there. But that's
not going to happen though.
But at that point, it doesn't really matter because I'm looking at it like if my game goes into that service, I'm not expecting the same return on the next game. I'm just hoping that no one knows what the pay structure and what they're getting. They're getting a bag up front, but we don't know, are they getting anything per download? Are they getting this? No one really knows what the underlying payment plan on all of these games they're getting. On top of it, if they sell the game in Game Pass, what are they making off of that too? So it's kind of hard to say where it's going. I get what you're saying, E, because I mean, did I say I get what you're saying, but overall,
we always getting people's names wrong.
Yeah, I am getting
You're not as bad as BRAP though.
No, not as bad as BRAP. I get what you're saying on that, but I just don't know what they can do because at a certain point, if your game does well in a service, you want your game to be in that service. But I can understand where you're coming from, guys, if you feel like you're not getting that return that you got the first time around, because it's going to get less and less because of other games in there.
Real quick, I mean, that's that. Hold on, Slomo, real quick. I want to reread this again because I think this is a really good point. And this goes back to kind of what B Money was saying about other industries. And so this executive says, what happened with other industries is big checks. And this is hold on. This is actually from a executive in the gaming industry. He says, what happened with other industries is big checks were written for a while until the platforms, the streaming services, didn't need the content creators anymore. Hold on just a sec here. And then he says, this check might feel good now, but it might not feel so good in 5 years. Platforms like, and then he talked about Game Pass, that the Game Pass or services like Game Pass, the long-term effect could be dire for the industry. People stop buying games directly and start paying for subscription services instead. So that's interesting how this, and I think what B was saying is in the beginning, like with the music industry, they were making they were getting all these big checks, the musicians and whatnot, and then once these services grew so big that they really didn't need the content creators as much to drive that new growth, there was you weren't going to get that bag, as B said, you were used to getting. And one more point I want to make before you chime in, Slomo, is that one executive did say that studios now may have to make sure that they, we basically what he's saying. This one executive said we have to make sure we have our profit margins up front. If we do a Game Pass game, we have to build that into we have to build our margins into that. So go ahead, Slomo.
I do understand what B's saying, and I think some of the fears of publishers in the video game industry is somewhat valid. Although we still have to also recognize that this is still a different industry, so it's not exactly apples to apples. When it comes to music and streaming services, that music usually is in there indefinitely for the most part. Now, me personally, like I have Google Play Music. Every now and then, I may recognize that a song that I used to listen to is no longer there, and I don't know what happened on the inside of why it's no longer there. I just know it's this is no longer there, but that doesn't always happen. Now, we already know like it's somewhat different with Game Pass because you can buy the game, and the games are in there indefinitely, especially from third party. And if there's a game that you really like and you want to keep it, then you can buy it for a discount. Yeah, and again, that might not be something that's definitely going to stay that way. And in the future, 3-4 years from now, let's say Game Pass is 30 million strong, and now Microsoft is like, well, we don't really need you to, they pay you so much to go day and date. I would say this, and we brought up Asobo, right? So Asobo is getting a lot of I would say publicity off of A Plague's Tale. Really great game. A sleeper hit. Really put them on the map a little bit. I would say instead of that game did come in Game Pass, but it was also in Origin Access before it was in Game Pass. So it's making the rounds. So, but the game sold well initially up front because reviewers played the game and said this game is really good. Now let's say they're coming out with a spiritual successor to A Plague's Tale, a different game, 3 years from now. It's possible that Asobo, based off of people playing their game through services like Game Pass, through services like Origin Access, are like, I'm looking out for their next game. And just because it was in Game Pass doesn't mean that I'm going to wait for it to show up to Game Pass. Now, I'll use myself as an example. I know that I can't, that's not everybody, but let me use myself for example. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm not waiting for that game.
Right.
When it comes out day one, I'm getting it on my PlayStation 4.
But that game was big enough for you to not wait so long.
Right. But like if we bring it back to Asobo, I think I enjoyed the Plague Tale so much that their next game, not Flight Simulator, because I'm not playing that. But like their next game in that vein, I'm buying that day one. Because I enjoyed that game so much and I don't want to wait until it shows up in one of these services. I really kind of feel like these services in the gaming industry, fit a certain niche. It's cannibalizing sales, but not like the people who really want that game. When you really want a game, you're just going to get it. You're not going to wait for it to show up in something.
Well, that's the same thing with me for movies. Like I feel you on that one, Slomo. Like for movies, I won't wait for Netflix to come out with like something like let's just say 1917, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I won't wait for it. I'll just go out, either buy it or I'll get a digital or something like that.
Right.
I'm just not gonna wait. And I feel you on that.
Yeah, and I think that's always going to stay. You're going to get developers that grow from this because they're getting exposure that they wouldn't have got before, and some of them would have just died off because they may have made some really good games, but nobody bought them, and they just couldn't keep the lights on. But instead, the people actually they got that bag from Microsoft, kept the lights on, as well as people played their game and said, that was really, really good. All right, I know who they are now. Next time they drop a game, I'm going to be looking out for them. I don't think it's a guaranteed the bag is going to be smaller. Therefore, what are we going to do? Also, I think it's always going to be with the bigger publishers, they're never going to go day and date with Game Pass or PS Now. It's for
but the thing is that they don't have to go day and date, Slomo, and that's what I'm talking about. That the games don't have to be in their day and date.
Okay, all right. So B, the next 2K. Let's say the next 2K shows up in Game Pass after 3 months.
Right.
Next year, are you gonna wait 3 months for it to show up in Game Pass?
I would if I knew it was going to Game Pass.
Yo, all right. I wish King David was here with the fraud alert because I would fraud.
I'm trying to tell you. At the end of the day, I am probably one of the most frugal gamers you know. So
frugal?
I spend a lot of
how much did you spend on VC? How much you spend on VC, B?
I spend a lot of money on VC, but that's a game that I'm dedicated in. That game ain't going to Game Pass.
Yo, okay.
That game ain't going to Game Pass. Every other game that goes to Game Pass, guess what? I ain't spending a dime nowhere else. You know what I mean? Like I would never go out and buy Gears 5 because I know it's going to Game Pass. And I'm a gear head. I bought every single game.
Everything that's Xbox Game Studios is going to be there day one. Like me, I'm never buying another one of their games again. But when even if Gears came out 3 months later, I'm not gonna buy it because I know it's going in Game Pass. Let's see, I wouldn't.
I agree. I agree with that.
There will be a certain percentage of people, like you said, that will continue to buy the game when they're interested in the day one. But if there has been a precedent that, yeah, okay, so those games they're great. But in about 4 months, they'll be in Game Pass. Guess what? I'll wait.
Okay, that person who has that mentality about that next Asobo game, they probably weren't going to buy it day one anyway. They were going to wait for,
and that's what I'm talking about.
For a deep sale. They were going to wait for Black Friday and buy it for $30.
That's what I'm talking about. So every time that continues to happen, the percentage of people who are going to buy day one starts to lessen and lessen and lessen. That's all I'm saying.
But that goes back to the 2K thing, like he said. So you if you knew it was coming 3-4 months later to Game Pass, you wouldn't buy it day one. Even being the huge gamer you are, because of NBA, you would wait 4 months.
I do not believe.
I don't believe that, bro.
I believe he thinks so now, but when it launched day one and everyone's playing it, and he just sitting there. He just sitting there.
I heard him
trying to wait 4 months.
Did he complained about what was going on? He said, "Man, I can't keep doing this with 2K, man." And then all of a sudden, that game get ready to come out, just like most people. Dude, listen, I work there. People always say, "Man, I ain't getting the next 2K. They full of BS." And guess what? They in line day one getting DC and everything.
I've never said that I wouldn't buy it. But I'm telling you, if I know that 2K is going into a service, I'm not giving them no fucking money.
Yo, I don't believe you, man.
You gonna be like that?
Y'all cannot believe me all you want to. You cannot believe me all you want to. If I know a game is going somewhere where I ain't got to give you no extra money, why would I give you extra money for it? That's the whole reason why I'm in a service. But
look, we understand that in theory, in thought. We get it, right? But like when that game come out, and what was it? No, it come out in like September, right? October?
September and early October.
Okay. It comes out October. And you can't get it in Game Pass to January.
Until after the All-Star break.
Like, you're not, I'm telling you, you gonna break that after 3 weeks.
I wouldn't care. I'm trying to tell you.
The first time that game goes on sale during Christmas for $29.99, he'll be there.
That's just not him though. That's also just gamers in general. Like if you're a fan of a game or you want something, you're gonna go out and you're gonna buy it. You know, like no matter even if you know it's coming to a service in like 3 to 4 months or whatever. Like you're gonna buy it because you're like, I really want to play that game. Like you said, Slow-Mo, earlier when you were talking about what was it, the Final Fantasy 7. I'm the same way, dude. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna buy that game day one. Even though it is episodic, even though I know I'm not getting the full game, I'm still gonna buy it day one because
there's still people to this day who have consoles, have have multiple consoles, have a PlayStation and an Xbox, but refuse to play Yakuza on Xbox or on PlayStation, but have been singing to the heavens that Yakuza is in Game Pass now. So
Yeah, and those people aren't
never going to buy the
fan.
game.
They were never going to buy the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do.
So if it never came to Game Pass, the developer for Yakuza was never going to get that sale from them. Period. Never, because they were never going to pay for it.
I hate saying that. I agree with Slow Mo 100% on this. I said this.
Man,
I
this
said
is
this.
what time is it?
Hell has frozen over.
11:05 at February 26, 2020.
I cannot
agree with me.
I cannot contradict myself on this because I said on this podcast almost a year ago when Game Pass was at a fever pitch, I said, have you guys ever got to the point where you started looking at games like that game could go in Game Pass? I'm not buying it. Because there is a bunch of games that I look at,
and we have all said that there's games that we see that we're gonna wait until they go to Game Pass.
Darksiders,
and I agree,
Genesis.
I do agree,
Listen,
but those are games I never was really into, though. You know,
it's a couple of games out right now that I'm like, I want to buy this game. I want to play it, but I'm like, it's gonna end up in Game Pass, so I'm just gonna wait. But like to Slow-Mo's point, those are games that I was already on the fringe about already.
On
buying.
the fence. Yeah,
it did say on the fence. Yeah, but I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so it's like me saying, well, that was my way of saying, well, it's gonna show up in Game Pass. I'll just wait till then. But please believe, that's like me telling you, look, man, that's like me saying Destiny is gonna be available in Game Pass 4 months later. But if I want to play it day one, if I want to play it like right now in Game Pass, I can. I mean, not right now, but if I want to buy it, I can, or wait 4 months to play it for free in Game Pass. Oh man, I can't do that, man. I got to get on that bread up front because I got to get in that game day one because I never know because I look at it as an experience that you won't get, that you're missing out on for 4 months if you don't get into it right then and there. But I do agree with you when it comes to all the other games, like the games that I'm not so sure about, because I'm like, I can wait. Do I really want to get them that $60? But Game Pass is only there for you to just dive into games that you truly don't know and that you're interested in. That's why they have like Game Pass Quest. Makes you play games you've never played before, and that's what that engine is built to do. But it's not meant for you to like say Microsoft's just being unprecedented with it by putting all their games in there. There's no reason Halo should be in there as a game that's part of Game Pass.
343's Halo might deserve to be.
Well, yeah, you're right. 343's Halo game might be, but there's no reason that Halo should be in Game Pass. It's no reason, but guess what? It's going to be there. And I'm going to play it there because I don't got to pay no money for it. But that's pretty much what Microsoft did that to themselves. I can't expect other developers to say, that's how it's going to be with their games too.
But dudes seem to be acting like that's the only way to go about it. Like if another servers don't come up and they put all their stuff in their day and date, then they're wrong.
Right. Yeah, that's not real.
I agree with that 100%.
That doesn't have to be everybody's. But on the flip side, kind of going along with what B is saying, and kind of where Hogue was at, if there's games in Game Pass,
he said Mass Effect.
Leave that man alone, man. Don't shame him for it.
We have to get back.
I'm not going to penalize him for it.
I am. That was the most blasphemous thing he said.
It was. I
hope your car, Hogue, if you listen, I hope your car is buried in snow like my house was earlier today.
Oh, dang.
Jesus. Hey, I got to pay the bills real quick, guys. Real quick. Ahead, Cypho Poetic X Initiative says with a $2 super chat says, "Woo! What's up, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Dark."
Yeah, for me, like right now, the only game I'm like really wanting to play, but I'm like I don't want to pay for it, is Darksiders Genesis. I'm all like, I don't want to pay for it. Like I want to play it, but I don't want to pay for it because like I know next month is what it's Neo 2 and it's Doom Eternal, and I'm all like I can wait until those games come out and then play those. Like I can wait until then and play those. And like because I know day one I'm gonna buy Neo 2. Even though I say to the heavens, like I'm all like, I'm not gonna buy that game. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I know I am. It's gonna happen as soon as that game comes out, and I see people on Twitter being like, "Hey man, you need to play this game." I would be like, "Damn it! Now I gotta go buy the damn game." and it's the same. Like I knew Doom Eternal. I was gonna buy that day one period anyway. So I was
Yeah.
like, I have it. I have it pre-ordered already. So it's day one for me. It's just I think for a lot of gamers it's just really gonna come down to like what their preference is and how they want their games. Like if they want to play their games day one, a lot of them are just going to go out and buy it. If they want to wait like a couple months, there's going to be gamers out there that are going to wait. People like us, I don't think we're going to wait very much. Like
Yeah,
we might wait on
there'll
certain
there'll
games,
be
but we're not going to wait on everything.
Look, certain
I got
games-
games. I have games on the way. Like still, yeah. Like I'm still gonna buy it, but like Forte said, there are games I'll look at and go, yeah, I'll probably wait on that. But here's the thing: if a game is in Game Pass, you kind of know it's there. You'll get to it when you get to it. And maybe it wasn't a game that you were really gonna rock with, but I think kind of what B was getting at was it's the gamble. And like I was kind of saying, like what Hogue was getting at, it's like the gamble. You like, oh, that looks like a Game Pass game. Maybe I'll wait to see if it goes in there. So right there, that dev is kind of taking that hit, like because where you might have bought it before, if it went on in the game in an Xbox sale or something like that, you would have bought it just to hold on to it until you were ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like a sale going to
Yeah,
them.
but
like,
was you really gonna buy the game though? Because even if the game goes on discount and you still don't buy it, then you're kind of saying that the game really wasn't something you were really interested in. Because
there were plenty of games that when they hit those sales, like me and B all the time, like when something hit, we were all up in there buying stuff, right? And I'm gonna tell you now, since Game Pass hit, my buying has curbed.
Well, mine has too,
it's the same way for me with EA Access. I used to buy Madden and NHL every single year. I haven't bought Madden and NHL since EA Access came out. I wait every year until the Super Bowl, right before Super Bowl comes out. That's when they put Madden in there. That's when right before the NHL playoffs starts. That's when they put the NHL game in there. And that's when I play it. Like I'm not giving EA no more money. Like why would I?
Subpar as Madden.
You know what I mean? Like why would I give you $180 every year when I can give you $30 and I get access to the games later on?
Shout out to EA Premier. I completely forgot that I had that subscription slow-mo and it just charged me $100 on PC for it. I forgot about it.
Like,
they got me, bro. They got me. They got me.
But you remember when EA Access was the wave? Like you don't hear anybody talk about EA Access.
No, you don't hear anymore.
Well, I think it's really just like sports games. Like I think
Star Wars was in there last year.
It's like you're gonna get it every year. You're gonna get it every year. So like
it's worth it for
getting like just paying $30 a year for something makes sense. Because that game's coming every single year, no matter what. Like, I can't see them doing that. Like, some people would probably say, like, I would like to see them doing that with Call of Duty, but like, Call of Duty makes so much money every year that they would lose so much money if they'll
lose money
like
putting it in the service like that.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Microsoft would have to drop a big bag in order for them
a bag.
Like, yeah.
But you know what?
Oh yeah.
One thing I will do, I will agree with B and E on this one thing because you brought up a really good game when you said Darksiders Genesis. Everybody here knows the infamous $400 collector's edition of Darksiders that was sitting behind me, and you guys haven't seen me playing Darksiders Genesis, and I just can't bring myself to buy it because it's not a traditional Darksiders game. It's a top-down it's a top-down twin shooter. So, but I still want to play that game because I am a huge Darksiders fan, but this was gonna happen. Either it's gonna hit Game Pass and I'm gonna play it, or the first time that thing goes on a major discount, like $20, I'm gonna buy it then.
Right.
I do agree if there's games that you are really interested in, you will wait for them if you know they're coming into a service. But it's like an extreme circumstance just for the fact that it's not the same type of Darksiders game as the last ones were. Now we were talking about a Darksiders game that was like 2-in-1. that would have been bought day one and everything. But the fact that it's a different type of game is what's making me wait on it. But dude, watching people play that game is
coming,
irritating me because I want to play it so bad.
Oh yeah, me too. But I can see that game actually coming to Game Pass. To be honest,
yes, that's why I'm waiting because I can see
Darksiders 3 came to Game Pass what, a couple months after,
like a couple months after launch, and I paid $400 for that thing.
That's because they couldn't give that game away.
They could,
right after it went
that's
out.
a good game. Damn it! All right.
Hey, but guess what? My collection.
Don't be jocking on freaking Darksiders, man.
Hey, man, my statues. I look it up every other week on eBay. That set goes for $700 online.
I'm sure, yeah.
So I could technically get all my money back right now.
I figured it would, man. I really wanted that set. I just couldn't come up.
Dude, that set is beautiful. I still haven't taken it out the box yet. It's still sitting in the box.
I don't blame you, Forte. I feel like for the money, the amount of money you put down, I don't blame you, man.
I was like, bro, I'm never taking that out the box. If I could find, if I could find the statues cheaper, like out of box later on in life, I'll buy them separately just to keep the other keep the other ones in the box brand new.
Yeah. By the way, Randall Thor in the chat said earlier, he said Game Pass is killing the gaming industry.
I mean, it technically is in some ways. I mean, you know,
yeah, it's big shout out to Rand for stopping by.
Rand, what's that? You drop some color on us?
I said it'd be the Napster of gaming.
Oh God! Napster.
Oh no, man!
Napster was
definitely don't be the Napster of gaming.
No, yeah, exactly. Don't do that. We don't want to do that. Yeah.
We don't want to be Napster.
Yeah. Well, guys, it is 11:15, and we'll go ahead and wrap up the podcast because I do need to get up early tomorrow morning. And I do want to actually, I need to download Yakuza 0. That's on Game Pass right now. I have it for the PlayStation. I got the collector's edition actually for the PlayStation. It came with like a business card and like I think a money clip and some other stuff.
Yeah, that one was cool. That was a cool collection.
Yeah, so
you download it on the Xbox?
Yeah, it's actually on Game Pass right now.
No, I know it's on Game Pass, but I'm saying you downloading it on your Xbox?
PC? No, I'm downloading it on PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to play it on PC. So, played. I didn't finish the Yakuza 0 on the PlayStation. I got pretty far, but I didn't finish it. I actually still need to go back to Judgment, which is really really good.
I gotta get on Judgment too, man.
Yeah, which is the spiritual successor to Yakuza.
Judgment's good, man.
Yeah, Judgment's pretty good.
Yakuza, you'll love Judgment.
Oh, absolutely. It is basically Yakuza. I mean,
it is,
yeah.
But it's basically like a detective based.
Right.
Yakuza.
Exactly.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, and you're still dealing with Yakuza.
I wonder if Judgment's going to come to Xbox eventually.
I hope it does. Yeah, I really hope. I hope that people get the opportunity or give the opportunity of trying Yakuza, because I've always been a fan of the Yakuza games. I think they're one of my favorite. But I know it's not for everyone either. So, but I hope people enjoy the game on Game Pass. I think it's definitely a game worth checking out.
The great thing about like these Japanese titles like hitting Xbox is we can finally stop the frauding where dudes were acting like Japanese games were the worst and terrible because they're on the platform. And now they're all on the wave. Like, I know for
not everybody on that surfboards, man, riding the wave.
Yeah, they were talking so much trash, like hype about downloading Yakuza. I'm like, well, all right, good job. Go ahead. As long as you downloading it, go rock with it. But stop all that frauding and saying, jab crap and all that stuff people used to say. Just because you didn't have it, that's all.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So
I remember one dude specifically saying that those games gave him migraines, and he's downloaded almost every one. Every Japanese game that's hit Game Pass, he's like, oh, no way.
It gave him migraines because he didn't have it.
Right.
And I've never understood that mentality. Like, if there's a game that I want to play, I don't care what platform it's on. It could be on it. Look, you guys remember I was always talking trash about the Switch, and I was mostly talking trash about it because there was nothing on the Switch that I wanted to play. As soon as Nintendo started getting games in there that I cared about, I bought a Switch. I started playing those games. If you want to play a game, like, stop hurting yourself. You're not hurting anyone but you. Go get the platform, especially if when you already own it. Like some of these guys who just buy a platform just to say they got it so they can talk trash about it. Like instead of having that thing collecting in the corner, buy the game that you like on it and actually play it for once. Maybe you will actually see how that platform really ain't all that bad. You know, it's just
look, man. Slow-mo just gave you guys a very, very good soliloquy on what he actually thinks, but I've been trying to tell him that for years. He should get a Switch, and he's finally listened to me. And look, the man plays.
I only listened to you when you told me to get a Switch. There were no games on the Switch that I would have played.
I told you just get. I said, "Slow-mo, a game is going to come for the Switch that you want. You're going to get the Switch." And you said,
buying a platform
you said there is not going to be a
looking
game on that. You said there's not going to be a game on that system that I want to play. I said, "Slow-mo, a game will come that you want." I said, "Slow-mo, there is a game you will want on that system."
To spend $300 on a Nintendo Switch and then stare at it.
Yeah. That's what I did with my
Until
PlayStation.
A game shows
That's
up.
what I did with my PlayStation.
That makes no sense, Lomo. But on that note, yeah, go. I'm sorry, Forte. I mean, that makes no sense, Forte. Go ahead, Lomo.
It's just the fact that I told you was going to get one and you were going to enjoy the system and that you play it more than you play your Xbox.
Yeah, but he got it after he found a game that he wanted to get it for, which was
you ain't got it. You ain't got it.
Ask Enrique. Hold on, Forte.
Enrique is just trying to be on your side, so you.
No. Look, ask Eric. Ask B. I said in the DM. I said let there be enough games that show up on the Switch. I will get it. Did I not say that?
You don't need to know. It ain't enough games. It only took one, and then you found games after that. That's why
no. There were multiple.
I said you should get the game. You
there
said
were multiple games that were.
You said there was one. You bought the game for Fire Emblem. You bought it for Fire Emblem. Sir.
This is what I bought. No, I didn't buy it for Fire Emblem. I bought it for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh yeah, you're right. You bought it for Marvel.
But there were already games.
Bought it for Fire Emblem.
Oh no! Fire Emblem was my game of the year last year. That was kind of like
Fire Emblem was sick.
Yeah, it was like where I played. I was like, well, damn! I put Ultimate Alliance 3 down, but I bought the Switch for Ultimate Alliance 3. But there were already like 2 games on there that I wanted to play. One of them was the Mario Rabbids game, but it wasn't. I didn't like it enough to actually buy the system for it.
Like I said, Slow-mo, hold on. I said, buy the system, Slow-mo. More games will come that you want. I'm not interested in that game. That game doesn't appeal to me as much. But guess what? It was 2 games on the system he could have bought when he wanted the system.
They weren't there at launch.
All right. Time out.
Doing this with you.
Yeah, yeah. We need to wrap it. I gotta get one of those things. Wrap it up, B. I gotta get one of those. Yeah. So no, but
Enrique gotta be up, so we gotta end the podcast by midnight.
I gotta get up early tomorrow. So but I want to give a big shout out to Optimus Code, who was here earlier this evening on the what I'm going to call the part 1 of the podcast before YouTube Studio decided to crap out. But also want to give a big shout out, big thank you to Dark Optimus for joining us tonight on BRAP. Dude, it was great having you on, man. Definitely appreciate it. We definitely would love to have you back on again. Please let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. Yeah, man, it was fun, dude. I really liked being on the podcast. It was fun time. We had really good topics, and hopefully I can do it again.
Absolutely, man. We like I said, we definitely would love to get you back on, and we got to make that happen again, man. So, but also want to give a shout out to everyone in the live chat, guys. Again, sorry about the whole YouTube thing and it crapping out, but we appreciate we appreciate everyone who came back for the part 2 once we got the stream.
We all know it was actually Slow-mo's comment.
Yeah, Slow-mo. The sock accounts. But
damn, the sock accounts.
Yeah, exactly. But but thank you guys so much in the live chat. Definitely appreciate it. Remember, hit that like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Although, as you guys know, I will drop a BRAP rant in a moment's notice, so keep an eye out for that. So, Thank you again to everyone in the live chat, the panel. We are out. Have a great rest of the week.
Hey, Enrique, real quick,
Yes,
have you
sir.
ever got to the point where you've done 2 in one day yet?
Yeah, I think he did.
I
He did
feel like
one.
I may have done 2 in one day before.
I've done that.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta get you up to like 4 in one day.
Nah, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. I'd run out of shit to talk about.
Like,
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So, all right,
I would
guys.
just do the same
All right.
thing on every show.
Yeah.
You should do one-on-ones with everybody
One-on-ones, right?
on your podcast.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are out. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.